Everyone, I'll call this Board of Aldermen meeting to order. If you please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Clerk, could I have a roll call, please?
Alderman Bowman, present. Alderman Bachman, Alderman Reese.
Here.
Alderman Milner.
Present.
Alderman Dickerson.
Here.
Alderman Long.
Here.
Alderman Turner.
Present.
Alderman Levison.
Here.
Mayor Hassick.
Here, and we do have a quorum. Good evening, everyone. We do have a ceremonial matter tonight. We are honoring someone with their 20 years of service. Officer Doug Rose. There he is. I did it. You made it. 20 long years. Yes. You've done what? You've been an SRO before?
Yes,
What else have you done exciting?
that was it.
That was it? All you've done?
I recently got promoted to corporal also, and it's been an honor to work with the city for 20 years. It really has been.
Well, you've been
A lot of bad memories.
A lot of bad. Well, I know we've shared some of those over the 20 years, so we want to honor you with this certificate and show our
fantastic.
appreciation and
Thank
tell
you very
thank
much.
you for 20, and we look forward to the next 25.
Now that was funny.
Well, thank you very much for your service. All right. Thank you.
Good job, Doug.
All right. All right. That is our only ceremonial matter, so at this time I'll open the floor to public participation. Anybody who has anything to bring before this board that's not on our already scheduled agenda, you may step forward. Seeing no one, I'll close public participation. We'll move on to the approval of the minutes from the November 5th, 2018 meeting.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion from Alderman Levison and a second from Alderman Dickerson for approval. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And the minutes are approved. Moving on to our agenda items. First off, we have the Christmas on the Square special event permit.
Sorry, you're taking pictures.
It's all right.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the Board of Aldermen. Before you tonight is the annual Christmas on the Square event, along with the mayor's Christmas tree lighting ceremony. Had this for several years, no problems. I think everything's been covered in our memo. I just entertain any questions.
Questions? Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Alderman Turner and a second from Alderman Milner. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Permits approved. Moving on to our first council bill, Council Bill 70.
I believe this is second reading. Council Bill 70, fiscal year 2019 budget and ordinance adopting an operating budget for the city of Harrisonville, Missouri for the fiscal year January 1, 2019 through December 31, 2019.
Okay. At first reading, we had our budget work session on this. Is there anything anybody needs to add before we would have a roll call vote? All right. Then I will need a roll call, please.
Alderman Dickerson.
Aye.
Alderman Levison.
Aye.
Alderman Reese.
Nay.
Alderman Milner.
Aye.
Alderman Bowman.
Aye.
Alderman Long.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
And Alderman Bachman.
All right, and Council Bill 70 will become Ordinance 03453. Council Bill 71.
Council Bill 71, a resolution of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Harrisonville, Missouri, authorizing and directing the city administrator to enter into Amendment 6 on behalf of the city with Burns & McDonnell Engineering Company, Inc., to make improvements to city water treatment plant for an amount not to exceed $7,329.56.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. This is a little bit odd. We've never done anything like this before. Basically what this is in the process of reviewing shop drawings and such from the vendors. They had set a goal, we'll review it once, we'll re-review it once, and after that we start charging. what they've done, none of these people have a contract with the engineer. So when Burns McDonnell sent the charges to CAT, CAT passed those on to their subs. And basically what this is they deducted this amount off of our next change order so that we would pay Burns McDonnell under our contract. It's convoluted. I tried to get him to just write the check to Burns McDonnell, but nobody wanted to do that. So when we get to the next item, you'll see that it's an $18,000 change order, and it should have been, I think, $26,000. So it is covered under that change order. And I'll be happy to answer any other questions you might have.
Questions for Mr. Patterson?
Make a motion to approve.
I have a motion from Alderman Dickerson and a second from Alderman Long for approval. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And Council Bill 7-1 will become Resolution R37. Council Bill 7-2.
Council Bill 72, a resolution of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Harrisonville, Missouri, authorizing and directing the city administrator to enter into a change order agreement on behalf of the city with CAT Excavating, Inc. to make improvement to city water treatment plant for an amount of $18,918.75.
And this is the change order I just mentioned. This change order also covers some things like testing pumps that weren't included. Sometimes things like this get missed. Basically, this brings our entire change order total up to basically $57,000, which is less than 1% change order, which is really, really good. I'd be happy to answer any other questions
So
like that.
who overlooked the issue with the pumps?
The engineers, something they didn't think about. We have floor drains in the basement. They assume those went out to the sanitary sewer. They don't. They go to the lagoon, which we then turn around and pump back in and treat that water. And with the chemicals we use to test with, we don't want to do that.
So we've had 3 change orders,
Correct.
and the total is, so far, of those 3 is 57,000.
And this should be the final.
Okay.
Yes,
And we had all that amount figured in, or we have grace for that amount?
yes. And I think SRF figured in 500,000 in change orders, so.
That's pretty good. All right.
Make a motion to approve Council Bill 72.
Second.
A motion from Alderman Dickerson and a second from Alderman Levison for approval of Council Bill 7-2. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And Council Bill 7-2 will become Resolution R38. Council Bill 7-3.
Council Bill 73, a resolution of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Harrisonville, Missouri, authorizing and directing the city administrator to enter into an agreement with Shade Tree Service Company, CO period, for the electric department tree trimming project and establishing an effective date.
Good evening, Mayor and Board again. This is something we budgeted for at the beginning of the year. If you've noticed, we've had quite a few power outages this past couple of years. The trees are getting way overgrown and we can't keep up with our staff. And you'll notice, if you'll remember, we also put another $250,000 in 2019 budget. And this is to fulfill that contract. I will say these were not the lowest priced. We had 2 bids. The bid from Asplin was actually lower per hour. We've not had good experience with them in the past. In fact, the former city administrator asked them to leave before their contract was done. So this company, they're bigger than what you think they are. Their annual hours worked aren't that far below what Asplin's is. And they currently have our emergency contract. So if we get into a storm and we need help, like the ice we had, they would be one of them that came out and helped. And they have been here in the past.
So they have been here? Sorry, Judy.
Are they local?
They're they're on the St. Louis side of the state.
Make a motion to approve
So
Council
they're
Bill
not the ones,
73.
hang on just a second, David, they're not the ones out of Odessa? What was
No.
the one I saw in here out of Odessa?
Odessa, that would be CAT.
Oh, okay, okay, I'm not far enough down on my stuff.
So what was the nature of the problem with Asplund? Do you
I don't know, I wasn't here.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve Council Bill 73.
A second?
A motion from Alderman Dickerson and a second from Alderman Levison for approval of Council Bill 73. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And Council Bill 73 will become Resolution R39. Council Bill 74.
Council Bill 74, a resolution by the Board of Aldermen of the City of Harrisonville, Missouri, authorizing and directing the city administrator to enter into an agreement with Michael Newman to contract as airport manager for the Lawrence Smith Memorial Airport and establishing an effective date.
So as you may be aware, or as you're aware from the report, that James Green is leaving. He'll be gone at the end of this month. He's got a federal job in St. Louis. This leaves us with an open position, somebody to oversee the airport. Mr. Patterson and I have talked about this over the years since I've been here, that we don't think it requires a full-time individual to run the airport, that hiring a manager or contracting with a manager rather would be the best way to go. We can then decide if something needs to change after a year of the contract to see how things are going. So we would contract somebody separately to cut the grass. We would contract Mr. Newman to watch over the airport. If there's anything else that needs to be watched over, we also have our engineers that are on call. And they can keep track of what FAA regulations or any grants, any money that's out there that's available, they can help us with that. This would save us on a full-time salary plus benefits, and it would just help our general fund bottom line. So this is under $5,000. So it is a contract that we don't have to go out for bid for. And we can go out and find the individual that we want, and then contract with them. We can see how things go over the year, and then report back to the board as to how well it's working.
Having you said that, that would be savings to the city, and I understand how it would be. Do you have any kind of a figure for that?
With what James was making, we're probably in the $80,000 to $85,000 range, including benefits.
Super.
So is this gonna make any difference in, not having somebody out there full-time? Is it gonna make any difference as far as any federal funding or grants or anything down the road? Is it gonna change our status of what the airport is now?
No. Butler does the same thing.
Do they?
And then we kind of copied off of them because of the size of their airports like ours. If you have somebody out there just to watch over the fuel tank, make sure that the offices are being maintained. He has a shop out there that he works in every day, so he's there. So the office can be watched over. It's not where it's being vacated, and we don't have somebody out there. That's why we think this works best.
And what do we know, I mean, what does he do? What is his,
He's an aircraft mechanic.
okay?
Yeah, he rents one of our hangars, and that's his business.
Okay.
Does he work on the life flight?
I don't know if he works on that. I
No.
think that's more specialized. And he just works on other smaller planes that
I
are.
just remember I took, a guy came to my shop and he worked out there or something. I thought he said on the, well, I know he said it was on the life flights or whatever. And I took him back, he dropped off his vehicle, I took him back. So I thought maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
Make a motion to approve Council Bill 74.
I have a comment first. I did talk to Mr. Green today because I wanted to get his perspective on Mr. Newman, and he had very nice things to say. He said the gentleman is a pilot himself. He has his airplane on a tie down out of the airport, and that he is an airline mechanic. And James said, you know, oftentimes when people would come in and have mechanical issues, that he would go to this gentleman for advice. So he felt very good. He feels like it's a very easy transition for him and his departure from the city. So I'm just adding those comments just for my colleagues.
Good, that's good to know.
Okay. Yes, I had a motion from Alderman Dickerson,
Second.
and a second from Alderman Levison for approval of Council Bill 74. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And Council Bill 74 become Resolution R40. That concludes our agenda items tonight. Alderman committee reports. Alderman Bowman.
Thank you, Mayor. Just real quickly, I did vote in favor of passing the budget, but I am just a little bit disappointed that we didn't have a discussion about, a continued discussion about adding a holiday for employees. I know it's important that we maintain streets and sidewalks and roadways. I wish we would have put a little bit more money into stormwater. I know that that's a concern in certain neighborhoods in the area, and I really wish we would have invested something into our staff to grant them an additional holiday. I'm finished, thank you.
Alderman Bachman.
No.
Alderman Reese.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of piggyback on yours, I didn't know you were going that direction. Last year, in February, I believe, and I can't remember if it's Channel 4 or 5, one of them were down here. And they were announcing to the world that we had neglected to honor one of the national holidays, and which was Martin Luther King. And so we discussed that at some length, and the mayor was quoted and did a nice job, I would add, about how he did not realize that, you know, exactly what was going on, and that he intended to look into it, and actually said, we need to update and make this a holiday we observe. And then we went on to negate that, and then we kind of got into, you didn't want the employees didn't want to change their holidays. I believe that was the reason that was given. And then we talked about giving them the extra holiday. That's where I'm piggybacking on you. And that was negated, I think, because they thought that that was just too much money to take out of the budget. I looked that up. That would have, Mr. Welch said it would be $20,000 for that. He estimated it would be around $20,000. And we have approximately $35 million overall budget. And so I figured that up, and that is 0.0001%, which just isn't very much. And the reason I bring this up is because I voted against, and I knew that it wasn't going to hurt anybody, but I had to do it because I felt like our integrity was at stake. And I was embarrassed that we had said to the world, we don't want that national holiday. So, just being said.
I point out that actually any discussion about holidays, about adjusting a holiday, and I didn't realize it until after that budget meeting, it's really something it's a policy. When we did the personnel policy, it's not something that really comes into budget. It's something that would have to be changed in a personnel policy. So it really would not belong in a discussion of the budget or on the vote of a budget. It would be something that would be brought up as a policy matter, which we just updated the employee policy, a few months ago, we voted on that.
August 1st was the start date.
So we just passed the new policy, and so that's where that really goes, and so.
Does that have more than 20,000 of benefits?
I don't know we've ever actually sat down and had Marcella grind the numbers, but.
That was the number that Happy gave us.
Anyway.
Faith Sherman ran the numbers for me from our last from 2 holidays ago when the question came up. So we wanted to get a number of what it cost for holidays, and that's what the amount was.
Okay. Alderman Miller.
We have along with the Christmas on the Square, we have the, yes.
The shopping?
And I think what it's called, holiday store.
There you go.
So we are always short things for men. Kids to get their dads or their grandpas or their uncles. And instead of buying them a Mickey Mouse alarm clock, we had any men's stuff. So if anybody's got any good stuff.
It's even used stuff, right?
Absolutely.
I think I got a clock when it was.
Gently used or
Yeah.
new, either way.
Okay.
Anything that kids would love to get for their dads, if you've got it in your possession and you're not using it or don't think it's a mandatory thing to keep at your house, please think about maybe giving it to the kids to give to their people.
Okay.
Because that's the one thing we are really short on is men's stuff.
And where do they take those to?
You can bring it to central office. There's any of the blue barrels that are around town, you can drop it off in those.
The shopping is on 12/8, is that right?
Yeah, it's on the
So they need it before 12/8.
Yeah. So that we'll set up Friday, we'll start setting up Friday afternoon, Friday morning. So anytime that week before, if you find anything that you just don't think you have to keep, we would love to have it.
All right. Very good. Alderman Dickerson?
Nothing.
Alderman Long. Alderman Turner. Alderman Levis. Mr. Welch.
Got you an updated report at your desk. Couple of things. Alderman Long had asked about the making up the water sewer charges to be paid by the county because of some utility billing errors in 2016. After reviewing the numbers, staff found an error in the billing system that was not including the sewer charges that are due from the Justice Center account. We have been charging the water. We hadn't been charging the sewer properly. That is now included. That may extend those payments for a little while, but it is on their bill. It is on their monthly bill, so.
Paying it.
Yeah, they're paying.
That's the important part.
Also, with December coming up, we talked about not having a second meeting in December. I just kind of want to throw that out, that the board can decide that at the next meeting. But it'll be on December 17th will be the day. We're trying to front load everything onto the 3rd, and then we won't have to worry about the 17th, so everybody's got the rest of December off. But keep that in mind. If we want to, we can leave it open. If not, we'll handle stuff at the 1st of January.
This is off topic. The revised agreement, independent contractor agreement that's on our desks, could you tell me what the changes were off of what was online?
One thing was we had him cutting around the automatic weather systems, the weather observation system and the lights. That'll be handled by the grass contractor. I thought it was part of his duties to keep that trimmed. It was not his responsibility.
That's the only change.
Yeah, there was something else, but it was a minor change.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Last weekend, I had the honor of attending the Veterans event at the Beck Event Center. It was very nice, very moving. It's nice to see the veterans that show up and how proud they look to be honored. I think that's a good event, and they keep growing. I want to thank staff for all the work on the budget. Getting that passed is always a big milestone for the year. Like I said before, I thought we did a good job getting through it. We got it passed. We're ready for 2019, so thank you for all your work on that. And then just want to wish everybody a safe and happy Thanksgiving, and hope everybody enjoys it and doesn't eat too much. So that's all I have.
I move that the Board of Aldermen go into closed session pursuant to the following sections of the revised state statutes of Missouri. That's section 610-021, legal matters, legal action.
And this, number 2.
Oh, number 2, leasing, purchase, or sales of real estate.
Very good. All right, do I have a second?
I would read all that.
Second.
Second from Alderman Turner. I need a roll call, please.
Alderman Bowman.
Aye.
Alderman Bockelman.
Aye.
Alderman Reese.
Aye.
Alderman Miller.
Aye.
Alderman Dickerson.
Aye.
Alderman Long.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Levis.
All right, then we are adjourned to executive session. Good night, everyone.